In this video, I'm going to break down one of the most important hiring debates founders face today: culture fit versus culture add. Both sound similar, but they can lead to very different teams and very different outcomes. Hey, it's Erin from Startup Wise, and if you're building a startup in 2025, you'll want to stick around because understanding the difference could make or break your next hire. A lot of founders hire people who fit their culture without realizing that sometimes what they really need is someone who adds on to it. Let's break that down so it's super clear. What is culture fit? Culture fit is basically hiring someone who blends in with the team you already have. They could share the same values, work style, and mindset. For example, if your team thrives on collaboration, someone who loves working alone and independently with little communication may have a hard time and struggle. Hiring for culture fit means you're essentially choosing someone who matches with your startup's DNA and culture already. The good, it's safe, it creates alignment, and it often makes onboarding smoother. The bad, if you only hire for fit, you risk building an echo chamber. So everyone thinks the same way and innovation slows down. What is culture add? So culture add, on the other hand, is like hiring someone who brings something new to the table that your team doesn't already have. So this could be a brand new perspective, someone from a different background, or a skill set your team could have been missing. Maybe your team is full of big picture thinkers, but you hire someone who's extremely detail oriented. That is a culture add. Good, it challenges groupthink, so it makes your team stronger and it helps your company grow into new areas. The challenge, it can feel uncomfortable at first because you're intentionally hiring people who aren't like the rest of the team. Why this debate matters in 2025. In today's hiring environment, startups can't afford to only hire people who fit. So diverse perspectives lead to better problem solving, more creative products, and a stronger ability to connect with different customer bases. But you also can't ignore culture fit entirely. If someone adds new skills but completely clashes with your values, you'll end up with tension and turnover. So it's not really an either or, it's really about balance. You want people who align with your core values like integrity, collaboration, and ownership, but also add to your team's diversity of thought, skills, and experiences. Practical examples for founders. Here is a culture fit example. Let's say you run a remote first startup that values flexibility and independence, and you hire someone who's proven that they can manage themselves without being constantly looked over. That is going to be a fit. Now here's a culture add example. Your current team is all engineers, and you bring in someone with a sales background who can translate those technical features into customer benefits. They're not a perfect fit in terms of skill set, but they add a dimension your team really needs. How to interview for culture fit and add. So when you're interviewing, don't just ask, do you fit our culture? That won't give you much. Instead, you want to ask detailed questions like, tell me about a time you worked on a team with very different personalities. How did you handle it? What do you think you'd bring to our team that we don't already have? Why did you leave your last role, and what kind of team are you hoping to join next? Now, the difference is for these questions, they reveal both whether they're aligned with your values and whether they can add something unique. And now I wanted to go ahead and add a bonus. If you're struggling to balance culture fit with culture add, Paired connects startups with top overseas talent from regions like Latin America and Indonesia. And here's why that matters. You get broader perspectives. So by tapping into global talent, you're naturally adding diversity of thought and experience to your team. Cost savings. So you can save over 80% on payroll compared to hiring in the US, which means you can afford to build a stronger, more balanced team. 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Paired backs every hire with a guarantee. So let's say the person isn't the right fit, they will go ahead and replace them so you're not stuck with a bad hire. This is the kind of service that helps you strike the perfect balance. You get aligned, high quality talent while also adding the perspectives and skills that push your startup forward. If you want to learn more, you can book a call at www.paired.so/startupwise. Those first few hires set the tone for everything. If someone doesn't line up with your core values or doesn't bring anything fresh, you'll feel it for years. So keep it simple. Do a 30, 60, and 90-day check-in. Quick coffee chats, short surveys, or 5-minute video calls all work. The ultimate goal is to see if the person really clicks with the team and is adding what you had hoped for. Plenty of young companies catch issues early this way, like noticing that a teammate avoids planning calls or struggles with shared ownership. So before small habits turn into a bigger culture problem. Balancing core values with flexibility. If everyone thinks and works the same way, the team can get stuck the moment the market shifts. So the key is to lock in just a few non-negotiables like integrity, customer focus, or bias for action, then stay flexible on everything else. That flexibility lets you bring in people with different creative styles, backgrounds, or problem-solving approaches, which makes it easier to pivot when new opportunities come up. Building a long-term hiring strategy. Every early hire shapes what your company can tackle next. A team built only on fit might move quickly today, but miss tomorrow's big idea. A team made only of ads could overflow with ideas, but they might have a difficult time delivering it. So think 1 to 2 years in the future. If you expect to expand internationally or launch a brand new product line, look for at least one person now who's already had experience in doing that. So this forward planning turns each hire into a building block for future growth instead of just filling up today's open seat. So culture fit versus culture add. What should startups hire for in 2025? The answer is both. Fit gives you stability. Add gives you the growth. So the sweet spot is finding people who align with your values, but still bring in fresh perspectives that your team needs. Tools like Paired make it easier than ever to build a team that's not only strong today, but prepared for tomorrow. This is Erin from Startup Wise. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.